All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I have for you guys today, I wanted to congratulate Brandon Harding on his class win and overall victory at his competition this past weekend. We talked about Brandon a little bit last week because some of the progress pictures that he was posting going into this show, he looked very impressive. His conditioning looked really gnarly. He's competing in classic physique, and I know that he's going for his pro card. So he won that show. He won his class, and he won the overall. And now next week, this weekend on Sunday, he's going for his pro card at the NPC Worldwide Ukraine competition. So I wanted to congratulate him on that and wish him luck going to get his pro card. It's always kind of cool to see somebody close that gap between influencer, YouTuber, and actual IFBB pro. I think it's cool what he's doing. So I wanted to give him a shout out in the beginning of the video because I thought it was very impressive. I haven't seen too many pictures from the show, and Brandon actually said in the caption of one of those posts that I guess they had some rules where you couldn't bring cameras or something to that effect. So I haven't seen any HD pictures of how he looked from the show, but from what I've seen so far, he looked pretty good. Now, next up in the news, a little bit of a pivot here. So Stefi Cohen, who is an accomplished female powerlifter, very well known in that space, she's actually going to be fighting on the undercard of Eddie versus Hafthor Bjornsson. And recently she made her boxing debut, which she won by knockout, looking very impressive in her debut here. I actually had no idea until I saw the official fight poster for Eddie versus Thor that she was going to be on the undercard, but I thought it was very cool that she was. So she posted this brief clip from the fight on her Instagram showing how she looked. And honestly, it makes me a little bit more excited for the Eddie versus Thor fight. It adds a little bit of an interesting dynamic to the card. I don't know if they're going to be adding or subtracting any more fights, but I'm guessing that was a fairly new addition if she just now made her boxing debut. So I'm wondering if they're going to add anything else to the card to make it a little bit more stacked. Like I said, it's September 18th. And I believe it's moved to Florida. It was originally slated for Las Vegas, but I believe it's going to be held in Florida now. I don't know what the situation is going to be as far as live viewers or selling tickets to people to actually attend the fight, but I do know it's going to be a very large live stream event. All right, now next up in the news, let's pivot back over to bodybuilding for a second here. So Hunter Labrada posting his 7-week out from the Chicago Pro Physique Update. Hunter certainly one of the front runners in that lineup, amongst other great bodybuilders like Sergio Oliva Jr., Akeem Williams, Charles Griffin. Possibly could see Hassan Mustafa jump in that lineup. So it's 7 weeks out. This was kind of an interesting update. He weighs 259 pounds in these updates. And so far, just like every other update that we've seen from Hunter so far, one of the things that's impressing me about Hunter in these updates is the condition that he has at these points in his preps. He already looks like he's in really good shape, and like I said before, that's what he's going to need to do to really, I think he needs to improve upon a little bit from the Tampa Pro last year from a conditioning standpoint. I've said before, I think he's already got the size to hang with these guys. I think he's got an already relatively complete physique. Some might say a little bit more detail and density in his back would be one point of improvement as well. But honestly, based on what I'm seeing at 7 weeks out, I think Hunter looks phenomenal, and I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do to be competitive in the Chicago lineup. And then, of course, you've got Tampa a week later after Chicago, the show that Hunter won last year. So if for some reason Hunter isn't able to win Chicago, again, you've got Akeem Williams in that lineup. The next week, the show that Ian Valliere is doing, the Tampa Pro, him and Ian could have a rematch from last year at Tampa. Ian, who beat Hunter at the Olympia. That's really what I want to see, is Hunter and Ian back on stage together, because now they're 1-1. Hunter beat Ian in Tampa. Ian beat Hunter at the Olympia in terms of placing. I would like to see a rematch this year before the Olympia and see who gets the best 2 out of 3 prior to the 2021 Mr. Olympia. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If Hunter and Ian have a rematch, potentially in Tampa, who do you think is coming out on top? Let me know in the comments below. And now a word from our sponsors over at Labrada Nutrition.
Come on.
Now, next up in the news, speaking of the Chicago Pro, another guy that posted a physique update at 7 weeks out from that show is Charles Griffin. Charles Griffin, who I think is a guy that a lot of people are sleeping on going into this show. I think he could be very competitive. I think he could possibly be a top 3 guy in this lineup, depending on the conditioning that he brings. He posted this side chest at 7 weeks out. He hasn't posted as revealing of updates as some of these other guys. Like Hunter posts almost every week, basically a full 360 of his physique. You can see pretty much every pose. But Charles, like Akeem, like Sergio, has been a little bit more conservative with what he posts. But Charles is a guy, like I said, I think he's being slept on. I think he's going to do very well. And I think in this update at 7 weeks out, he looks really good. Now, next up in the news, Larry Wheels addresses the beef or potential lack thereof with Eddie Hall on a recent live video on his YouTube channel where he's answering some questions specifically about arm wrestling. And a question and a topic comes up of Eddie Hall. I believe the question was something to the effect of, would you arm wrestle Eddie Hall and who would win? And he goes on to answer that question. And then he says there's no beef. But a lot of people who saw this clip, specifically a lot of the people that sent it to me, said they don't really believe what Larry is saying here. So I'm going to play the clip and get your guys' thoughts on what Larry says here.
The arm wrestling opinion, Larry versus Eddie Hall. Sadly, Eddie wouldn't stand a chance against me, right or left-handed. And he's too focused on his match with Thor. I don't think that is something that he would even entertain anytime soon. But maybe after his boxing match, just for fun, I'll pin him 6-0.
You would smash him, huh? 6-0.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Will you comment on if there's beef with Eddie Hall? No, guys, there is no beef, okay? There is no beef. But there is a $10,000 bet that he's going to get his head taken off by Thor. That is real.
Oh.
So Larry does say in that clip that there's no beef. He also says he would beat Eddie Hall 6-0 in arm wrestling, either arm, I should say, left or right. And then at the end, he says that the $10,000 bet with Eddie that Thor will win, and a.k.a. knock his head off, is 100% real. So that comment that we saw from Eddie Hall on Larry's page where he said, very sportsmanlike, Larry, guess you and Thor clearly have the same attributes. Do you fancy a $10,000 bet on who wins? And Larry then accepted in the comments. I guess that is 100% legit, and Larry does have $10,000 on Thor winning. So as always, I've got to pose the question to you guys. Who would you bet $10,000 on in this fight? Eddie Hall or Half Thor Bjornsson? We're getting kind of close now. It's coming up soon. Who you guys got winning? All right, now the final story that I've got for you guys today is an opinion piece. A lot of people were asking me, it's been a long time since we've done a video about this topic, fake weights. Sylvester Stallone posted a video today where he's holding what appear to be two 45-pound plates in each hand, and he tries to stand straight up with them, kind of with his arms at an angle. And a lot of people were asking me if I thought these plates are fake. So in my opinion, to me, the plates look fake. I don't know if he was trying to imply that they were real or if he posted this video as a joke and it wasn't ever supposed to be taken seriously. But if you ask me, they look identical to the fake plates sold by fakeweights.com. They look literally identical. They've got that plastic waxy surface to them. They're not completely fake. These fake weights, they're advertised to look like 45-pound plates, but they weigh like 3 to 5 pounds each or something like that. So they still have a little bit of weight to them. But for me, the thing that raises suspicion in this video is if you look when he's coming up with the weights and his hands are shaking and his arms are shaking, look how much the plate itself shakes and like vibrates. A 45-pound piece of plastic or metal would not shake that much just because your hand or arm is shaking. However, a very light 3-pound piece of plastic with a big surface area like that would shake that much with your arm shaking. But something as heavy as 45 pounds wouldn't be shaking that much with just your arms from the strain of it. It wouldn't shake like that. It's moving like a very light piece of plastic would be moving. But as always, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. Sylvester Stallone, are the plates real? Are they fake? Why or why not? Comment down below. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you did, in fact, enjoy it, it helps out a lot with the algorithm. Let's try to get this video to 10,000 likes. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.